First up, Sam Houston was a major leader during the time when Texas was deciding whether to join the United States. He was a military commander in the Texas Revolution and helped defeat Mexican forces, which allowed Texas to become an independent nation in 1836. After independence, he was elected the first president of the Republic of Texas, where he helped organize the new government and guide the young country. However, Houston believed Texas was still vulnerable because it had a weak economy and a small population, and the constant threat that Mexico might try to take the land back. Because of this, he strongly supported annexation and believed Texas would be safer if it joined the United States. According to the University of North Texas history notebook, Houston once said that, "My great desire is that our country, Texas, shall be annexed to the United States," which shows how strongly he supported the idea. As president, Houston used his leadership and political influence to promote annexation and maintain strong relations with the United States so that Texas would have a better chance of joining in the future. Next up, Andrew Jackson and Martin Van Buren were two U.S. presidents who played an important role in the early debate over the annexation of Texas. After Texas became an independent nation in 1836, many Texans wanted to join the United States, but both Jackson and Martin Van Buren were cautious about accepting their requests. Jackson was president when Texas first sought annexation, and although he recognized Texas as an independent country near the end of his presidency, he chose not to approve the annexation. His successor, Martin Van Buren, continued this policy and also rejected Texas's request to join the Union. Both leaders believed that annexing Texas could seriously damage relations with Mexico, which still believed Texas belonged to them. They feared that the annexation might lead to a war between the United States and Mexico. In addition, they understood that the issue of slavery was already causing major political divisions between the northern states and southern states. Because Texas allowed slavery, adding to it for the United States could increase tensions and upset the balance of power in the Congress. For these reasons, Jackson and Martin Van Buren believed that annexing Texas at the time was too risky and not in the best interest of the country. So, they chose to delay this decision rather than move forward with annexation.
James K. Polk. James K. Polk was a huge supporter of the Texas annexation. He was not nationally known very well before his presidency, but he favored the idea of manifest destiny, which was the belief that the expansion of the U.S. was justified. He had previously been the Speaker of the House and Governor of Tennessee. He believed that the United States was meant to expand and that more western land should belong to the United States. Also, expansion was a part of the nation's destiny, and because of these reasons, Texas should become a state. Because of his beliefs that America should expand, he wanted to annex Texas. To accomplish this, he ran for president in 1844 with a key expansion campaign issue. So with this, he won the election by a small margin. Then finally, when the office came to support annexation once in office, under his leadership, Texas became the 28th state. Texas needed to annex to show how slavery affected national decisions. Also, before it increased tensions between the northern and south. So in conclusion, under James K. Polk's leadership, Texas became the 28th state. He was a prominent statesman, lawyer, and orator from New England from 1782 to 1852. He served as a U.S. Senator and later as Secretary of State, but he was never president. He was widely respected throughout the U.S. for his constitutional arguments and his speeches on national unity and his leadership within the Whig Party. What involved him primarily was his opposition against Texas and its opposition, publicly opposing annexation in major Senate speeches, saying that it would expand slavery and provoke war with Mexico. With his speeches supporting the Northern resistance, also arguing that annexing Texas, it would violate his constitution, threatening the balance of slave states. The effect of this influenced the Northern public opinion. Daniel Webster significantly impacted the delay of Texas annexation and a major Whig Party opponent to its 1844 with a key expansion campaign issue. So with this, he won the election by a small margin. Then finally, when the office came to support annexation once in office, under his leadership, Texas became the 28th state. Texas needed to annex to show how slavery affected national decisions. Also, before it increased tensions between the northern and south. So in conclusion, under James K. Polk's leadership, Texas became the 28th state. He was a prominent statesman, lawyer, and orator from New England from 1782 to 1852. He served as a U.S. Senator and later as Secretary of State, but he was never president. He was widely respected throughout the U.S. for his constitutional arguments and his speeches on national unity and his leadership within the Whig Party. What involved him primarily was his opposition against Texas and its opposition, publicly opposing annexation in major Senate speeches, saying that it would expand slavery and provoke war with Mexico. With his speeches supporting the Northern resistance, also arguing that annexing Texas, it would violate his constitution, threatening the balance of slave states. The effect of this influenced the Northern public opinion. Daniel Webster significantly impacted the delay of Texas annexation and the major Whig Party opponent to its expansion, prioritizing the preservation of the Union and opposing the spread of slavery.
Antonio Lopez de Santa Anna. During the Mexican-American War, Antonio Lopez de Santa Anna was a political and military leader of Mexico. He served as the president of Mexico 11 different times and referred to himself as the Napoleon of the West. Now, when it comes to Texas annexation, there are basically two sides. One side, you have the American expansionists, like politicians, settlers, and southern slave owners, who believed the U.S. was destined to stretch to the Pacific. They wanted Texas in the Union and pushed hard for it through Congress and public pressure. On the other side, Mexico, led to various points by Santa Anna, never accepted Texas independence and saw annexation as basically an act of war. Meanwhile, Texans themselves were drowning in debt as an independent republic and largely just wanted U.S. protection and stability. After nearly a decade of back and forth, the U.S. annexed Texas in 1845 through a simple majority of vote in Congress. One major battle was the Battle of San Antonio. Mexico's furious border disputes exploded, and that tension launched the Mexican-American War almost immediately. Annexation wasn't just adding a state, it was a powder keg that completely redrew the map of North America.
Jefferson Davis supported Texas's annexation to expand Southern power and protect slavery. As a political ally of expansionists and later a military leader in the Mexican-American War, which finalized the border, he advocated for incorporating Texas into the U.S. advanced Southern interest. Davis was a fierce political advocate. He served in the Mexican-American War under General Zachary Taylor. He wanted Texas to be part of the Southern states as a pro-slavery. Davis was elected into the U.S. House of Representatives in December, the same month Texas was admitted into the Southern states. In 1845, Davis was a young congressman from Mississippi. He's a firm believer in manifest destiny, the 19th century doctrine that the United States was destined to expand across the North American continent. He viewed the annexation of Texas as a crucial step in securing the nation's western borders and expanding American influence. Like many Southern politicians, Davis supported annexation because it would add a large slaveholding territory to the Union, helping to maintain political balance between North and South in the U.S. Senate.